everyone knows that one team that's super common. The Typhlosion, the Shiny Gyarados, a Crobat, it all gets a bit boring after a while. That's why I'm playing through every region with an actually unique team. Today, we're going to be playing through the Johto region in Pokemon Soul Silver. First, let me lay out some ground rules for this video. I can only use Pokemon from Generation 2. You'll see I kind of break this rule for a little bit, but it's fine. And of course, battles will be on set mode, and I am not allowed to use any items in battle. Anyways, if you like the video, make sure to subscribe to help me out, but that's enough talking, let's get into it. We start our adventure off like any other game by naming ourselves Fried. We did choose a girl avatar this time, because honestly, I'm feeling kind of slay today. We leave our house and a Marill bumps into us. Honestly, I should have punted that little right into the sky. We talk to the shady guy peeping into the lab like how I peep into the girl's change room, and he shoves us away. We end up going into the lab for ourselves, and Professor Elm wants us to get a delivery for him. This is also where we get to pick our starter, and it's really not much of a surprise that the least popular one here is Cyndaquil. Obviously, I'm lying. I picked the green bean looking thing as our starter. We name her Camellia, but she has a careful nature, which isn't horrible actually. Before we leave New Bark Town, we talk to our mum who gives us our Pokegear back, and then Professor Elm gives us his number. Respectfully, mate, you're kinda too old for me. We go through Route 29, battling Pokemon as we go, until we reach Cherry Grove City. The old man here takes us around and explains everything, and at the very end, he gives us the running shoes. So we use that to run up Route 30 and get to the Apricot house to get the Apricot box, so now we can pick Apricons to make Apricot bowls. That was actually kinda hard to say. We reach Mr. Pokemon's house, and he gives us the mysterious egg. Professor Oak is also here. He doesn't seem to recognize us though. He does give us his number though, but again, way too old, bro. I'm gonna call the police. Professor Elm calls us, and it seems like something bad has happened, and he tells us to come back quickly. So we rush back, but get intercepted by the red-haired guy from before. He challenges us to a battle while he's glazing himself, and Camellia takes him down, no problem at all. He runs away, but we manage to get a peek at his ID card before he can snatch it back. Back at the lab, it seems like it's been robbed by the guy from before. The police suspects we did it, but it gets cleared up pretty fast. He asks us for the name of the perpetrator, and his name is Iyad, because Iyad left a comment on my last video. After that whole ordeal is over, Professor Elm tells us about the Pokemon League, and that we should try challenging all the gyms. So we go talk to our mum, who offers to save our money, which I decline, because no one is gonna touch my bands. We meet Ethan on the outskirts of the town, and he teaches us how to catch a Pokemon. Anyways, we make our way to Route 31, which is where our next team member is. On the way, we get youngster Joey's phone number. I guess I'm going to jail. We have to change the time to morning, and with that, we can catch ourselves a Ladybug, who we nickname Poppy. She ends up having a modest nature, which is okay. We reach Violet City, and honestly, this region is just beautiful. We go into the Pokemon Center to heal, and Primo is also here, who is apparently from a popular TV show. He asks us what we think of him, and we say, dislike bath. He asks us to glaze him more, and we say, I've arrived. Anyways, we buy a few more Pokeballs and head to the Dark Cave on Route 31, because inside here is a 1% encounter that I think will fit our team. After way too many encounters, a little Dunsparce pops out. We catch her and name her Trillium, and she ends up having the rash nature, which is okay. Like, I'm not getting bad natures here, I guess. We have to take on the Bellsprout Tower before we can challenge the gym leader, so we just let Poppy deal with it, since she only takes 1 damage from all these Bellsprout because she's 4 times resistant. We climb to the top where Ian just finished defeating the Elder, and he teleports out. We also end up beating the old guy up too, and he gives us the Flash TM as a reward. After grinding up a little bit, we finally challenge Faulkner, the flying type gym leader, and our team is definitely at a type disadvantage. Regardless, Trillium just kind of rages her way through this entire team, just barely surviving in the red. I guess she's a League of Legends player. But with that, we managed to secure our first gym badge. After defeating Faulkner, Professor Elm calls us and says he can't be asked taking care of the egg anymore, and that we can pick it up from the nearby Pokemart. So now I have to raise our child as a single parent. I can't believe this. We also go buy some balls to fill up our Pokédex a little bit, because it's looking a bit dry right now, just like my DMs. So we make our way back through all the routes and catch a Hoot Hoot, a Pidgey, a Sentret, a Rattata, a Weedle, a Bellsprout, a Zubat, and a Geodude, which brings our Pokédex total up to 11. I don't have access to Headbutt yet, so I can't catch any of those encounters like a Pineco, which some of you have been suggesting for the team, but regardless, I ditch everyone into the PC box and then head down into Route 32 where I catch even more Pokemon like Ekans, Mareep, Hoppip, and MF Doom. I also take this time to explore the ruins of Alpha a little bit and solve one of the puzzles to unlock some unknown, and I managed to catch a couple of the available variants. I might come back to this place later to catch all of them, but for now, I'll leave it be. I did also consider using Unknown in the team, but it literally only knows Hidden Power, so I don't know, it seems a bit impossible. But you guys let me know. It's also around this time that the egg we received before hatches into a Togepi. I keep going down Route 32 until I reach Union Cave. Inside here, I fight off all the trainers, which also allows for Camellia to evolve into a Bayleaf. We also managed to catch a sneaky Onix to add to the Pokédex as well. After escaping Union Cave, we reach Route 33. There's not much here, so we happily skip past and get to Azalea Town, where we see a Team Rocket grunt mugging an old man. After the man runs away, we visit Kurt's house, and he tells us he's going to attack those Team Rocket grunts to teach them a lesson for cutting off the Slowpoke's tails in the Slowpoke well. Once we catch up to him in the well, it seems like he just fell over and now asks us to go instead of him. I just met this guy, and he wants me to take on a terrorist organization. Inside the well, we fight off all the grunts, and we also catch a Slowpoke too. We reach the boss Proton, and honestly, Proton's team is pretty simple. They got a Zubat and a Coughing, and they both go down pretty easily thanks to Camellia. After we chase them out, Kurt comes in and takes us back to his place to show us his balls. We leave an apricot with him to make into a Pokeball, and now it's finally time to challenge the next gym leader. I sort of brute force my way through the gym with Camellia, but once we reach Bugsy, my team just doesn't have the coverage or the resistance to fight against a bug flying type, and Cypher just hits so hard and is so fast, you know what I mean? So I ended up grinding a little bit before challenging Bugsy again, this time with a newly evolved Ledian. Poppy didn't actually end up doing anything this time around, so I just left it all up to Trillium since she recently learned how to use the move Rollout, which is super effective against Bugsy's bug types, and it gets stronger with every turn you use it, so she just kept using Rollout and just swept Bugsy's whole team by herself. Once we tried to leave Azalea Town, we're greeted by our rival who challenges us to a battle. Of course, it's no problem for Dunsparce as she wipes out his team clean. Moving forward, we reach Ilex Forest, and there's a few things to do here. First, we help this guy catch the missing Farfetch'd. It's actually a really cool puzzle where they face the direction you are if you step on a branch, and you have to get behind them. After finishing that, we get the HM for Cut, and we teach it to Bayleaf for the time being. We catch an Oddish right before meeting the Headbutt guy, who can teach any of our Pokemon the move Headbutt. This is really good for us because Headbutt is actually very hard hitting for this stage of the game. We end up teaching it to Trillium, and we come to a clearing in the forest where we spot a baddie who's lost. I try to help her find her way out, but Trillium beats me to it. I guess Dunsparce likes the Huzz more than me. After that, we use Headbutt to catch ourselves our next team member, a Pineco, who we name Lantana, and she has an impish nature, which is not bad, it's not bad. We finally get to exit the forest and reach Route 34. We beat up the trainers along the way, as well as filling up our Pokédex by catching a Drowsy, a Ditto, an Abra, as well as an Execute. Once we reach Goldenrod City, I take a while to just explore everything, especially going into the underground to dress up Trillium. Just look how beautiful she looks. I play a little bit of Voltop Flip as well, but honestly I'm just too stupid for it. And then eventually I make my way over to the radio tower to get Whitney to go back to her gym. Now obviously, this is the leader that really messed with me as a kid, but I was determined to defeat her this time. Trillium takes down Clefairy with some rollouts, but misses Miltank when she comes out, so Trillium goes down. I use Poppy to get her down a little bit more, but Poppy dies as well. Trillium comes out, and I try to stall her out using Poison Powder and Synthesis, but she ends up being able to heal more than me, so slowly but surely, Bayleaf also goes down. But now, Miltank is like 1 HP now, and also is poisoned, so she dies the next turn. However, I get the bright idea that when I send out Lantana and use self-destruct, so I end up losing. You know, it's so stupid how I don't get the badge for that. Come on, that was sick. I think I deserve it. Anyways, we come back and Dunsparce lands all the rollouts and takes out Whitney's team by herself, so after beating Whitney, we grab ourselves the watering can first, and then we make our way to the beginning of Route 35. There's a few encounters here that we need to catch, so after beating up all the trainers, I start hunting for a specific 1% encounter Pokemon on this route. I was bracing myself for this to take ages, but I got it first try. Not bad, eh? We name her Gladiolus and add her to the team. Afterwards, we catch a female Nidoran as well as the male variant. We We eventually reach the Pokéathlon Dome, which was probably my favorite place to come when I was playing Pokemon as a kid. Well, this and the contest in Sinnoh. But we feed our Pokemon some steroids and head in to try out some of the competitions. The only problem is that I'm playing this on an emulator, so without a stylus and the screen looking like this, yeah, it was kind of impossible, which is pretty sad. So after getting our ass handed to us, we instead go clear our mind at the national park nearby, where I catch a cheeky little sunkern for the Dex. Right next to the park, we can exit onto Route 36, where there's also another rare encounter here. It's not this Vulpix, but it is this ugly looking deer. I think Stantler's pretty unique since I never see them in teams, so we name her Amaryllis and add her to our squad. We come back to the path that our Sudowoodo is blocking and we pee on him a little bit before catching it. This gives us access to Route 37, but there's nothing special here. So we keep marching forward into Ecruteak City. The first line of business we have to take care of here is in the Burn Tower, where we find the gym leader Morty, as well as his friend Usain. Our rival Iyad is also here, so we make quick work of him with a little bit of a suicide bomb from Lantana. At the basement of the tower, we run into the legendary dog trio, but they all run away as soon as they see me, but I made sure to rub some peanut butter on my Pokeballs, so we can at least stay for a little bit longer. In the basement, we can also catch a coughing as well as a magma. Well, now it's time to face the gym leader Morty, who uses ghost types. Luckily, after grinding a little bit, Trillium is now the strongest member of the party and knocks out his Ghastly with Pursuit. Haunter comes out, but again, he falls to a few pursuits from Dunsparce. Gengar comes in now, and finally Dunsparce gets knocked out. So we switch around to Yanma, who gets knocked out as well. But after that, Camellia comes in and finishes the job. After damaging Haunter a little bit, she also goes down, but this is the last Pokemon, so Stantler comes out to finish it with Astonish. After beating the gym leader, we head to the dance theater where a Team Rocket grunt is holding everyone up. He starts showing off his dance moves, and by dance moves, I mean he just starts humping the air. We take him out real quick and save everyone, and it seems to have gotten me some huzz. Hey, give me your number. I'll call you later tonight on my Pokegear, alright babe? On the way out, an old gentleman gives us the HM for Surf as well. Only problem, none of my current team members can actually learn Surf, so we'll have to make some changes, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. On the right side of Ecruteak City is Route 42. A hiker comes out of the cave and gives us the Strength HM before we enter inside Mount Mortar ourselves. It's a really short cave for us, but we do manage to catch a Machop as well as a Marill, which took way too long to find. After escaping onto the other side of Route 42, we catch a Spearow, and Raikou decided to say hi. I didn't end up catching it though. But we reach Mahogany Town, and something about this place just feels so off. We explore above it on Route 43, where we catch a Girafarig. I think I might replace Stantler, but I don't know. We also catch a little Venonat, which is cool. You know what isn't cool though? Getting taxed when I walk through here. I completely forgot this existed, and I just got mugged for all of my money. Anyways, we use Marill just to surf over to the Gyarados real quick, and of course we catch it. As we exit onto the shore, we meet Lance and his Dragonite, and he tells us to go to the souvenir shop in town since it's a bit suspicious. So like the good boy that we are, we go inside and see him literally murdering someone. He's still alive, but you're telling me a human is surviving a hyper beam from a Dragonite. It turns out a Team Rocket base is underneath the souvenir shop, so we go snooping around. Honestly, this takes forever, and there's so many battles because of the statues, so I'm just gonna skip to the part where we reach the boss's room. Once we reach it, Iyad comes up behind us, talks a little bit of smack, and then walks off. Classic, that helped no one. Inside, we find Giovanni, who actually just turns out to be Petrol in disguise. We take him out, and he runs off with the password that we need. The password system has voice recognition, so without him, we basically can't enter into the power area we're trying to get to. However, there's a Murkrow in the corner who starts mimicking his voice, and he slowly leads us to where the password is inputted. Imagine your biggest op being a bird. Kinda reminds me of Farfetch'd. Murkrow recites the password to let us in, but we're stopped by Ariana of Team Rocket. Lance joins us, and it turns into a double battle. Lance does have a level 40 Dragonite though, so it is kind of one-sided. Inside the generator room, we take out the electrodes and stop these signal waves from being emitted outside, which were causing all the Pokemon to go crazy. With that, it means we can now take on the gym leader Price. And while going through here, I came to the sudden realization that I have skipped 2 gyms. This happened last time as well. Why does this keep happening? I mean, I've come too far already, so I just decided to go for it anyways. And I kind of got wiped because we have 0 methods to deal with ice types. Like literally 0. Look at my team. So after another failed attempt, I finally figured out a way to beat him, which was basically just get lucky crits with Dunsparce. If it works, it works, you know? But with that, we get the gym badge, and I have to say, Dunsparce is putting in absolute work in this series, I can't lie. She's by far the highest level on my team right now. After beating Price and leaving Mahogany Town, I have my eyes set on the next gym leader. To the west of Ecruteak City, we can find Route 38, where there is a lot of Pokemon to be caught. We catch a Miltank, a Raticate, a Meowth, a Magnemite, Chading, if you know you know, a Tauros, and then finally, after 20 minutes of searching, a Snubbull. We name the Snubbull Azalea because we'll be adding her to the team in place of Poppy the Ledian. We also switch out Stantler to put in Girafarig instead for the next gym leader fight. Passing Route 38, we get to Route 39, where a shady old man just gives us his number because he's building a safari zone, and I guess he wants us to come visit if when it's finished building. I don't know, it's a bit weird, but okay. On this route is also a Miltank farm where there's a sick Miltank that needs some orange berries to recover. Unfortunately, I don't have any orange berries, but my question is, why don't they just bring it to a Pokemon Center? After a bit more walking, we finally reach Olivine City. Hold up, do you think like free range milk or whatever in Pokemon, and it's just like you don't catch the Miltank in a Pokeball? You know what I mean? And is that free range? Anyways, after a bit more walking, we finally reach Olivine City, and oh hey Yad. Oh. Okay. He tells us that the gym leader is in the lighthouse taking care of a sick Ampharos. Why is everyone sick in this video? But before going to visit the lighthouse, I grab the good rod from this house and catch a Krabby as well as a Corsola, who I named Corabelle, and I add it to the team, replacing Fortress for now because we need a Pokemon that knows Surf. I might bring back Fortress later, but I don't know, we'll see. We grind a little bit so Snubbull evolves into Granbull, and then we make our way up the lighthouse. Once we reach Jasmine, she tells us that the medicine needed to heal Ampharos is across the sea, so that obviously means that we have to go get it for her, even if we literally just met her. Also, Bayleaf evolves into Meganium here, which is pretty cool. We quickly surf over Route 41 to Cyanwood City with Corsola. Literally everybody on this island talks about there being some mythological creature in the Whirlpool Islands, like it's some sort of cult, so I quickly go into the gym so I can fly out of here ASAP. The gym is pretty easy thanks to Girafarig and Psybeam, so after stopping the waterfall, we get to battle Chuck. Primeape goes down easily with a few Psybeams, but then Poliwrath comes out to take down Girafarig. But then Meganium comes in to finish the job, and I don't know why, but Meganium being this shade of green is kind of disgusting, I don't know. But with that, we've claimed another gym badge, and after exiting the gym, we get the HM for Fly from this random lady. We explore around Cyanwood City a little bit more because up at the top is Suicune just chilling there. He ends up running away, but then Yucine sees us and challenges us to a battle. Of course, he was no match against Dunsparce. Afterwards, I tried to teach a Pokemon Fly since we just got the HM, but it turns out Yanma can't learn Fly. So I decide to grind a little bit first to bring her up to a high enough level for her to learn Ancient Power and then evolve. But it turns out Yanmega can't fly either, so are we just like not flying in this series or what? So unfortunately, we decided to take the long way back to Olivine City and surf to get back. Eventually, we make it back to the lighthouse where Amphi is sick, and we pass Jasmine the medicine to heal Amphi. Once we leave, the shady guy from before calls us to say that the safari zone is now open. But we ain't got time for that right now because we have a gym leader to defeat. None of the trainers actually want to fight us because we helped out Jasmine, but honestly that's for the better because we genuinely have no moves that are super effective against steel types. So this might be a bit tricky. We start the fight with Jasmine and start with Corabelle to hopefully get a bit of chip damage off. She gets one shot. So we bring out the Goat Trillium to try and take down the Magnemite, but unfortunately she falls as well, while Jasmine uses a potion to heal her Pokemon back up. Now it's Azalea's turn, and she does get the Magnemite into the red, but the Power Fusion is too much and she goes down as well. Next is Gladiolus since she outspeeds, and Magnemite finally goes down. Another Magnemite comes out, and Yanmega manages to get it down to red before getting knocked out too. Then in comes the Snot Dinosaur, who cleans up Magnemite real quick before Jasmine's ace Steelix comes in. We hit it with a Petal Dance, which brings it to half before Steelix activates its berry to heal. They only use Sandstorm, so it's not all that bad, but on the next turn, Camellia decides to hit a crit and ends the battle right there. With that, we now have another gym badge and can now continue on to the final one. Despite getting the badge, we still aren't allowed to leave past Mahogany Town. So I take a quick trip over to the Safari Zone where I catch a Seal, a Staryu, and a Tentacle along the way. I don't actually end up doing anything here at the Safari Zone, but we went back to Mahogany Town and I still wasn't allowed through. So then I remembered that there was the Goldenrod City event where Team Rocket took over the radio tower. So we fly over there quickly and head to the underground tunnel to change into our Team Rocket uniform. Inside the radio tower, it is filled to the brim with Team Rocket members. So I try my best to avoid them because honestly, I'm not trying to fight anyone. Once we reach one of the top rooms, we find Petrel, who challenges us to a battle, but of course, our Dunsparce is super over leveled and takes care of it. Petrel gives us the basement key where they've locked the director up, so we make a break for it to head down into the underground tunnel. But apparently, Iad follows us into here and challenges us to a battle when we're in the middle of a rescue operation. Like, I don't get this guy at all. Anyways, Dunsparce wipes him easily. There's also some sort of button puzzle here, but I just randomly pressed it a few times and somehow I got it through, so I don't know. We find the director holed up behind this box and he gives us the keycard to get into another part of the radio tower. So back there we go. We eventually reach the elevator to the observation deck, but Ariana tries to stop us. She can't stop Dunsparce though. So we go into the elevator and travel all the way up to meet Archer, who I guess is the leader of Team Rocket for now. I actually don't remember this guy existing at all, so Dunsparce just kind of knocks him out as well. That means we can finally move past Mahogany Town and into Ice Path, where I catch a Delibird there as well. There's a strength puzzle in here as well, but nothing too crazy. At the end of this cave is Blackthorn City, which is home to the dragons. These nuts on your face. We instantly go challenge Claire, even if we have no ice type moves to use. You know why it's fine? Because we have an over leveled Dunsparce. I mean, look at this level difference. She just keeps headbutting everything. That's literally all that happened in this gym. Every trainer fight up to the gym leader, it's just she just headbutts everything and just wins. But with Claire defeated, she still doesn't accept it and tells us to go into the dragon's den to pass a test or something. Just give me the damn badge, man. But after surfing through the cave and taking some personality quiz, we pass the test and get the gym badge. After getting the final gym badge, I decide to make some final changes to the team before we continue towards the end of the game. The first thing I do is go down to Route 45 and catch a Teddy Ursa for the Pokédex as well as a new team member, which ended up taking a very long time to find. We haven't had a team member that could use Fly this entire playthrough, so I think now is a good time to add in someone new. We catch a Skarmory and name her Asta. Before anything else, we chuck some Pokemon at the daycare. This is one freaky daycare, and we go to Ecruteak City to find the Kimono girls we've been helping along our journey in Johto. They decide to challenge us, but honestly it's pretty easy because Dunsparce just keeps headbutting them. We get a call from the daycare center right after this that we have a new egg to grab. It's gonna be a while before it hatches, but I'm sure you guys know what Pokemon will be coming out of here. The Kimono girls gave us the silver thingy to find Lugia, so we head to the Whirl Islands to travel downwards. It actually takes me a while to traverse through these islands, maybe because I'm a bit stupid, but eventually we reach the area we're supposed to be. Can we just take a moment to appreciate this? I had to prepare my team a ton before this to even stand a chance against this legendary Pokemon because I know how hard this fight will be. Anyways, after that, we now go towards the right side of New Bark Town to unlock Victory Road. We go past Tojo Falls. Nothing really interesting happens here, so we just battle a few trainers and grab a few items before we reach the entrance to Victory Road. This is the shortest Victory Road I've ever been through, by the way, but I guess it makes sense because our rival Iad defeated them all before we got in there. He intercepts us at the very end and challenges us to a battle. I think we all know how that went. After that, we reach the Indigo Plateau and the egg also hatches into a little Smoochum. So now we have an ice type to help us out. I doubt she'll even do anything though because her stats are horrific. We level up a bit and update some movesets. Here is the final look at the team before we go in and fight the Elite Four. I'm actually pretty happy with this team. It's pretty unique and also it's not that strong at all. Dunsparce is pretty much the only consistent damage dealer in this team because they're over leveled as hell, apart from maybe Skarmory and Girafarig. Anyways, let's start our run past the Elite Four. The first fight is against Will, the Psychic type user, and they lead with a Xatu who pretty much just spams me first. So I use this to set up 3 layers of spikes with Skarmory, and after this I use Fly since it's a 2-move turn, meaning that when Xatu me firsts it doesn't even end up hitting me, but I can still hit him. We get some decent damage and then switch to Dunsparce, and then Dunsparce just wipes him out. That's it. The next fight is against Koga who uses poison types, and it's a bit scary because of the toxic spikes. Ariados locks Skarmory in with Spiderweb, but luckily we can take it down before they can do anything else to us due to a flinch and a crit. Next is the Fortress, and we managed to get a lucky flinch crit to bring us to half HP. Unluckily, on his last turn, he manages to get a toxic spikes down, which sucks for my team. Regardless, we take him down, and then Venomoth comes in who confuses Skarmory. We get really unlucky and keep hitting ourselves so we don't do any damage to him. So it's time for Girafarig, who comes in and knocks it out in 2 psychics, and also manages to get one off on Muck as well. After that, it's just Dunsparce who manages to hold on long enough in order to just about take out Muck and the annoying Crobat, which grants us the win. Next up is Bruno, who uses fighting type Pokemon. I'm gonna keep it real with you, this fight was all Aster, and they knocked out majority of his Pokemon before Dunsparce came in to clean up. It feels like the fighting type Elite Four members just suck at fighting, honestly. Finally, we face Karen, the dark type user. We set up our spikes while Umbreon uses double team, which is low-key scary. So I switch out into Dunsparce to take it out by getting a lucky crit with Headbutt. Next is Gengar, so I have to switch out into Girafarig. Thankfully, they keep missing their Focus Blast somehow, so we can safely knock it out with a few Psychics. But then he hits us with the Destiny Bond, which is, I guess it's fine. It's time to try out Daisy in a fight, I think. Karen sends out Murkrow, which is another not fully evolved Pokemon. She uses Pluck, and you'd assume that this wouldn't one-shot Smoochum at the very least. But no. Anyways, we use Corsola to take out Murkrow, but then we die to the Vileplume, so we get a free switch into Skarmory. We get them down to red, but so are we, and we're paralyzed. Luckily, they're still confused from Petal Dance, so they knock themselves out while we go into the air with Fly. This gives us a free turn of damage on the Houndoom, who otherwise would have killed us, and we somehow land a crit and one-shot it. That is crazy. Finally, we are at the Champions Room about to verse the Dragon-type abuser. Like, this brother has 3 Dragonites on one team. This actually can't be legal. Anyways, beginning the fight, he starts off with a Gyarados, so we start with Girafarig, who knows Thunder. We hit one, which brings him to the red and forces out a full restore. We then hit 2 more in a row to take out Gyarados. Next is Aerodactyl, so I sack Girafarig to get a switch in. It's a battle between the birds, and we survive with 2 HP after whacking it a few times with Steel Wing. Next up is the Zard, so I guess he's saving up all of his Dragonites for some reason. We sack Skarmory to send in Corsola, who can get off 1 Surf before he withdraws him and sends out a Dragonite. I switch in Meganium to get a sacrifice free switch in because I really don't want to switch Dunsparce into a Thunder Wave because that will honestly mess everything up. So Meganium goes down but still gets a little bit of chip damage. Now it's time for the actual Dragon type to wipe everything. We use Yawn and Roost and Headbutt over and over again for these dragons. Basically, we Yawn, Roost until we're full HP and then Headbutt, and then rinse and repeat for these dumb looking dragons. One of them actually gets a crit and I low-key pooped my pants here. But ignoring that, we get down to the last Dragonite and he paralyzes us. That's fine, I think, because we still take it down, but we are getting low on HP. And it's not exactly the best move to roost up since we're paralyzed. I want to make sure every move is at least going to do some damage if it goes through, so we hit a Headbutt, but then Lance pulls out another full restore out of his ass. But that's fine, because we don't care, and Dunsparce pulls through with 2 more Headbutts to knock that fake Dragon type out of this game. With that, we have finally beat the Johto region with what I would say is a pretty unique team of Gen 2 Pokemon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and like the video as well. This took a very long time to make. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the final team and who I could have used instead. Yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to be involved in the making of the team next time, you can follow me on TikTok. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. I hope I will see you all in the next video.